Heidi Militana. I'm the floral coordinator here at Winterthur. I wanted to do a little succulent Christmas tree. My inspiration for this was a photograph that I saw of one of H.F. du Pont's dining room tables at the holidays. And he had small jeweled Christmas trees on his table setting, and they were beautiful. And I just thought, in this day and age, with succulents being a trendy item, that maybe in this day and age he would have been using succulents for his Christmas tree table setting. This is a time-consuming little project, but it's not a really hard project. I started off by making a template just out of paper of a tree shape, and I knew I wanted the base wider than the top, so I just played around with the shape a little bit till I got it to my satisfaction. And then I cut a piece of chicken wire using that template. And I also cut a piece of breathable landscape fabric. Anything that you would use to keep weeds out of your house, out of your, your landscape. And you put the landscape fabric in to the chicken wire. You close this off. And then you stuff it with something called sphagnum moss. And sphagnum moss is, you can get this at any kind of a garden center type of store, and once you wet it, it expands. So you can get just a little block of it and it expands into a big portion. So this tree is stuffed with sphagnum moss, and that's what keeps the succulents and the air plants that I'm going to be using moist. To water this, probably the easiest way to do that would be to put it into a bucket of water and just soak it for a little bit. And I don't think you would have to do that very often. I use a bunch of different succulents. The easiest way to do this is to use cuttings. So a cutting is like this, where you take the plant, a little piece of the plant off of the succulent. And with these hens and chicks, it's very easy to just take these and then they just come right off like that. This plant, you can't really get a cutting off of it, so I did have to take the roots. I very gently removed some of the soil from the roots, and I used water to remove the rest of the soil, and then I stuck these in. And I used the bigger plants as the showpieces. I love this little sedum because it gives you all these different colors, and it's very easy to split and very easy to root. So it's a great one to use. And then at the end, I'm going to show you how I used air plants to kind of decorate this tree. So I have the base of this done. I used the larger plants at the bottom, and then I started using smaller plants. I used the sphagnum moss to to hold the plants up, and also to eliminate the look of the black landscape fabric. I use these little pins as needed to hold anything in. So I make a little cut into the fabric like that. I poke a stick through it. You can use whatever you want. And then I take my cutting, I push it in, and if it doesn't stay, I'll just take one of these pins and I'll stick it in so it doesn't continue to fall out. And then I'm going to use a little bit of sphagnum moss. In there. And then I just need one more little piece in here. And I'll use that little guy that I pulled off here. He's got a stem. I poke a hole. Put him in. Hold him in there with a pin. And use the sphagnum moss to kind of hide the landscape fabric. So, just about done with my tree. I started decorating it on this side. with some balls, and I'll finish that up. I use a little pick to make an area so the balls can go in.